Hey guys, I'm Drago and welcome to another installment of the series that I always do when I'm low on time because it's quick and easy to make and I wanted to make sure I got a video out for you guys. Yippee! Yep, we're back for another episode of Pokemon Infinite Fusion Spriting. I always find this fun to make and it's always a great video to make when I'm low on time because it's easier to make. But I just want to make sure that I always get a video out for you guys on time, so this is what this week's video is. I hope you're okay with that. I hope you guys don't mind. I know it's not your guys' favourite series, but I just wanted to make sure I got something out for you guys. But Art Fight has officially started. This month is Art Fight. I will be doing attacks and live streams and videos and all that, so look out for those coming. But yeah, we're back to doing Spriting for Infinite Fusion. We're again doing random fusions, just seeing what we get. I'm not going to talk much because I'm low on time. I need to get this done in an hour, so I've been really busy this week. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy. Alright, here we are once again on the Fusion Dex website, the site where all sprites of Pokemon Infinite Fusion are held. As usual, we will be clicking random fusion, and any fusions that don't already have a custom sprite are the ones that we will be doing in this video. So let's click random and see what our first one is going to be. Oh, that's really cute! It's obviously a custom sprite, so we're not going to be doing it ourselves on this video, but that is so cute! Oh, I do love Cyndaquil, Typhlosion's one of my favourites. Let's go again. Krokorok, so Krokorok, Krokorok and Kingler. Okay, that's not that bad actually. I think I can see that one being doable. Let's do it. This is one of the fusions that actually really surprised me. You wouldn't think these two would go together very well, but actually they do. They've sort of got nice colour schemes that go to each other quite nicely. And I don't know, just the way they are, you can sort of get the same sort of personality out of both of them. You've got Kingler that is quite, you know, proud and aggressive. You've got Krokorok, which is quite proud and aggressive. Both sort of blend into each other nicely. The Kingler base I use is from Toon. And I was going to use the head of this Krokorok base from Neogot, but it wasn't actually the right angle when I overlaid them over. So I googled it. I found this image of Krokorok from the wiki. The head was at the perfect angle, so I used that as a reference. And I started by actually making a different canvas and just making it a square canvas. And just normally sketching out the head shape, just so I could get it right. It's easier to sort of do that, not in pixels. Without the pixels, it's easier to mess around with it, but you know, fiddle with the proportions, just make sure I've got it all right. And then once I'd done that, I put it back into the pixel canvas, shrunk it down, and then traced over the sketch I'd done to make it into pixels and clean it up. It's a really helpful method with some of these sprites when you've got something you need to make from a complete scratch. And I was able to get the Krokorok head at the right angle and it worked really well. In terms of blending the two Pokemon together, obviously it was a Krokorok head. I added the sort of spike thinners that Kingler has onto the head of Krokorok. I added the sort of jaw tooth that Kingler has as well. I slightly adjusted the position of the claws, but they're still there, they're still prominent. And I made the feet have little claws as well for Krokorok. In terms of colouring, I sort of very closely followed how Kingler does it. So the main sort of light brown of Krokorok was the top half of Kingler, while the pink belly of Krokorok, I made the bottom half of Kingler. But I couldn't just leave it at that. Obviously Krokorok has these really prominent black stripes on it, and so adding those was also really important. And I decided to add them mainly on the claws of the Kingler. I made sure to curve them nicely so it really shows the 3D shape of the claws. And I think this looked really nice actually, I really like this. I also decided to add the spines of Krokorok onto the claws as well. This helps define it as Krokorok, because there is a possibility you could mistake this for Sandile instead, Sandile being the pre-evolution. So adding those spines does cement that it is Krokorok, because Sandile doesn't have those spines. Alright, with Krokorok done, let's move on. Who's going to be next? Gible and Blaziken. Oh, it's always so difficult when you have a first evolution and a final evolution together. Oh no, okay. This is going to be a very interesting one to do. Let's see how it goes. This fusion also took me by surprise for the complete opposite reason of the last one. I thought this would be fairly simple to do. Just put Gible's head on there, the mouth open, and then just merge the rest of it and the colours into the Blaziken body. One of the more simple fusions. However, it was not as simple as I thought it would be. At first, I couldn't even get the shape of Gible's mouth right, so I had to do the same thing as I did in the last fusion. Open up a brand new square canvas, sketch it out, and then implant it in, and from there, trace over the sketch I'd done, do all that, you know, just like I did in the last one. But I had to make the head so small that it was so hard to transfer it into pixels. I fiddled around with this so much. Honestly, I was expecting this to be quick and easy done, just like that, but no, I spent a long time on this one, just trying to get it right. It's probably one of the more cursed fusions we've had on this series. I tried to make it so instead of hair, it almost had a really long fin, but it just looked awful, so I got rid of that. And at first I wasn't going to have the hair at all, but once I uploaded it to the Pokemon Infinite Fusion Discord server for feedback, because before you couldn't submit to the game, you had to upload it and get feedback to refine your sprite, so it's good for the game. People said that it's probably better to add in the hair somehow, because otherwise the Blaziken part of the fusion is kind of lost. So I did add in the hair later on, but that's not included in the recording. But you will see it in the final product. Oh, and also the Blaziken base. That is by Flupus Supus. I think that's how you say that name, I'm not entirely sure. You have no idea how many takes it took me to say that name without stuttering. Yeah, other than fiddling around with the body, the colouring was pretty straightforward. Just using the Gible colours in the way Blaziken is, the same sort of theme with how the colours are. The red of Blaziken became the main blue body of Gible, and the fluff and hair became the red part of Gible. And also for the fire of the base, I made that blue because Gible is a dragon type, and I sort of feel that blue is more associated with the dragon types in Pokemon. I don't know, just everything I've seen about dragon types in Pokemon is sort of blue. The moves sort of have this blue hue to them. The type logo has a blue hue to it. It just has a very sort of blue vibe. And it is time for our final one of this video. Let's see what we get. Hey, it's Typhlosion! As I said, it's one of my favourites. And Skarmory's one of my favourites. That's really cool. Let's go again. Palossand, so Palossand and Fearow. Oh, okay, I've got a sandy one to do. A very sandy bird. Also, I love that, like, other opposite one. That's really cool. But yeah, let's give it a go. I think this is perhaps one of the most detailed ones we've done on this series so far. I wasn't expecting this to go as detailed as it was, but I actually had so much fun doing it and I got really carried away, and it just ended up, like, becoming one of the best sprites I've made so far. While the Palossand sprite is official, did Palossand ever have an official sprite? I don't know. I think it got introduced in the 3D games. I don't know. My Pokemon knowledge isn't that far. I don't know. But this Palossand sprite is official to the Pokemon Infinite Fusion game, and the Fearow base is by Foxposs. And my thought with choosing this base is, while that is probably made to be, Fearow is sort of beating its wings down in a flying motion, it almost looks like it could be perched. And so my idea was to keep it more Palossand-like rather than just Sandygast, is that it would be perched on a tower or a mound or something. something. And initially I was just going to make that the Tower of Palossand, but I actually changed my mind and I ended up making it more like a bird's nest. And this bird's nest has a mound in the middle that is sort of egg-shaped, and that's what Fearow is sat on. It's sort of curling its wings around the egg, protecting it. So with that decided, I was obviously lining Fearow, and I made sure to have dripping sand to really give the idea that it's like a sand sculpture. It's made of sand. But other than that, the shape of Fearow stayed pretty much the same. Other than the head crest, which to add to this being Palossand, I decided to give it the spades instead of a head crest. So it has the spades coming off of its head that makes the crest. In terms of colouring, obviously there isn't much colour when it comes to Palossand. The whole body is just sand. And so I was going to have to get creative with how I was going to do this. I was going to have to think about how to differentiate the different parts of Fearow while I just have one colour to work with here. But I think I did pretty well with that actually. The beak, legs and the body could stay pretty much the same colours as long as I shaded it in a way that they were differentiated, it was fine. That white fluff that Fearow has though, I wanted to make sure that stood out a bit more. So I made a lighter shade of the sand and used that. It's a shade that's noticeably lighter but isn't like a whole new different colour. It still blends in, you can still tell it's sand, but you could tell it's a different part of Fearow. The rest of the shading was more straightforward. The line shading was a little bit complicated because I had to make sure that the falling sand was obvious, and I didn't want to add too much black because it just sort of didn't look quite right. The black stood out too much, so I used more of the dark brown outline than I did black. The black only went in really dark parts. As for the bird's nest, is one of the sort of shading parts where I'm actually quite random with my movements. The randomness actually helps to just give it a more organic look, and I really like how it turned out. It's actually one of my favourite sprites I've ever made, and I'm really glad I actually got this random fusion because I just really like it. I think it turned out really cool. And there we have it. 3 sprites for 3 random Pokemon fusions. Let me know which one of this video is your favourite. For me, it is definitely Palossand Fearow. I love this one. One of the best sprites I've made overall out of the 170 sprites plus that I have made so far for the game. Anyways, again, I'm so sorry that this is sort of one of the videos that isn't as popular with you guys. This is the easiest video for me to make when I'm low on time, because the sprites themselves don't take as long as making a big piece of art. And I hope you guys can forgive me for that. I just really wanted to make sure I'm on schedule. I'm getting videos out for you guys. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So hopefully it's alright that I do another one of these. Maybe I'll change it up in the future a bit. Maybe I'll do fusions that you guys request me to do, or I'll do fusions of a specific Pokemon, you know, stuff like that. But anyways, regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and maybe subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Also hit the bell and put on your notifications. I will be live streaming throughout this month because of art fight. So if you want to catch those, make sure your notifications are on so you know when I go live. You could also join my Discord server and you will get a pin there when I go live as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!